World War I, a conflict that spanned continents and reshaped the world, was marked by pivotal events that altered the course of the war. Two such events occurred in 1915. The sinking of the RMS Lusitania and the Gorlice-Tarnow offensive. This article delves into the significance of these events, one in the Atlantic and the other on the Eastern Front, and their lasting impact on the Great War. The sinking of the Lusitania. On May 7, 1915, the British ocean liner RMS Lusitania was torpedoed and sunk by a German submarine, the U-20, off the coast of Ireland. The Lusitania was en route from New York to Liverpool and carried nearly 1,200 passengers and crew, including 128 Americans. The attack resulted in the deaths of 1,198 people, including 128 Americans, and outraged the world. The sinking of the Lusitania was a turning point in World War I for several reasons. 1. International outrage. The loss of innocent civilian lives, including Americans, sparked international outrage. The United States, previously neutral, began to reconsider its stance in the war. President Woodrow Wilson demanded that Germany cease its unrestricted submarine warfare. 2. Escalation of anti-German sentiment. In the United States and other allied nations, anti-German sentiment soared. Propaganda depicting Germany as a ruthless aggressor circulated widely, fueling support for the war effort. 3. Shift in U.S. policy. While the United States did not immediately enter the war, the sinking of the Lusitania marked a significant step toward American involvement. It ultimately contributed to the U.S. declaration of war on Germany in April 1917. The Gorlice-Tarnow offensive. On May 2, 1915, the Central Powers launched the Gorlice-Tarnow offensive on the Eastern Front, led by German General August von Mackensen. This offensive aimed to break the stalemate and push back Russian forces. It was a massive combined arms assault that utilized artillery, gas, and infantry. Key aspects of the Gorlice-Tarnow offensive. 1. Breakthrough. The offensive achieved a breakthrough in the Eastern Front, forcing the Russian army to retreat. This marked the first significant Central Powers' success against Russia in the war. 2. Territorial gains. The offensive led to the capture of substantial territory, including the cities of Gorlice and Tarnow. It also opened the way for further advances into Galicia and Poland. 3. Strategic impact. The offensive diverted Russian resources from the Western Front, where the Allies were locked in trench warfare. It also created political instability within Russia, contributing to internal turmoil. Combined impact on World War I. Both the sinking of the Lusitania and the Gorlice-Tarnow offensive had far-reaching consequences that influenced the course of World War I. 1. Shifting alliances. The sinking of the Lusitania pushed the United States closer to entering the war on the side of the Allies, while the Gorlice-Tarnow offensive allowed the Central Powers to gain momentum on the Eastern Front, impacting the overall balance of power. 2. Globalization of the conflict. The Lusitania incident demonstrated that World War I was not confined to Europe. It drew the United States into a global conflict, amplifying the war's scale. 3. Changing dynamics. These events contributed to the eventual outcome of World War I. The entry of the United States on the side of the Allies and the Central Powers' advances in the East were pivotal factors in the war's conclusion. The sinking of the Lusitania and the Gorlice-Tarnow offensive were watershed moments in World War I, illustrating the war's global nature and its profound impact on international relations. These events not only shifted alliances but also contributed to the eventual outcome of the conflict, shaping the world in the years to come.